And without further ado, I'd just like to introduce our speaker. I'm going to give you a little bit of information that he gave us, so you know a little more about him. Most of you probably know him pretty well just from what you've read in the paper. Adam Page is a resident of Lancaster, New York. He is a Paralympic athlete who has inspired many with his abilities on and off the ice. A true wonderful citizen and a great individual. He was born in 1992 with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, but those are not his greatest characteristics. You will hear about what makes him a wonderful individual shortly. Page found sled hockey at the age of 6, and at age 14 he was chosen for the USA development team. Not long after, joined the USA men's national team. Adam has participated in the 2010 Olympics, Paralympics in Vancouver, British Columbia, and of course most recently in the Sochi, Russia Paralympics. Additionally, he's taken part in 4 world championships, winning 2 gold medals and a silver and a bronze. Alongside his role as an athlete, Adam currently volunteers with his father Norman, starting new sled hockey programs all across the country. These programs give youths and adults a chance to play the sport that has given Adam so many opportunities. In his spare time, I don't know how he possibly has spare time, Adam enjoys downhill skiing, golf, and bowling. He's currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in sports management at Medaille College. Page's childhood sled hockey, crafted by his father when Adam was 6 years old. I think he said you cut it out of a kitchen chair. So you were one kitchen chair short at that point. Is downstairs in the museum at the Museum of Disability History. We're very thankful for the donation of your childhood sled. We're very thankful that you're here today. So, Adam Page.
Hi, I'm Adam Page, and I was born with spina bifida. Spina bifida is a birth defect where the spinal cord, which is normally protected from the spine, is growing outside of the body. People born with this defect can suffer from limited mobility, cognitive problems, and hydrocephalus or water on the brain. I have no feeling from the knees down, and I have a tube called a VP shunt that drains the water from my brain. Since my birth, I've been faced with 10 surgeries, but this has not stopped me from what I want to achieve in my life. I just have to adapt things to make it easier for me to be just like any other person. Throughout my life, my parents made sure I had the medical care, education, and opportunities available to me so that I could live a normal life as possible. For example, I had to learn to walk with crutches, as well as learn to use a wheelchair for longer distances. And I also wanted to drive a car. I had to go through testing to determine if I needed hand controls. After many evaluations, the conclusion was that I could drive a car without any adaptive equipment. The thought of me driving a car was scary enough for my mom and dad, let alone driving with a disability without hand controls. I just found out not long ago that my dad was stalking me while driving for the first 2 months before he realized I could actually drive a car. Whether it was bowling, horseback riding, karate, downhill skiing, and of course hockey, I found and worked at ways to participate along with my peers. I grew up watching sports and really loved the game of hockey. Hockey has been a big part of my life. My dad would always take me to Buffalo Sabres hockey games when I was young. As I grew older, I understood that my disability would not allow me to compete at stand-up hockey. My parents knew how much I loved hockey, so they looked for an adaptive form of the sport. My parents found sled hockey from another family whose child was in the sport. My parents thought I should try it. I got on the sled for the first time and I was hooked. I knew it was something I could compete at. For the first couple of years, until I was 11 or 12, I had no idea where the sport would take me. At the age of 13, I got more serious about the sport and I tried out for the Junior National Sled Hockey Team, which is the feeder program to the men's USA National Sled Hockey Team. The first time I tried out for the team, I didn't make it. I was so disappointed, but I knew I was close. I went home and trained twice as hard. The next year I tried out again, and I made the junior national team. At the age of 14, I was now one step closer to my dream. I learned a lot during the time with the team. That fall, I took a shot at trying out for the USA men's national team, my dream. I was trying out against guys twice my age and older. I went out and tried my best. I didn't make it. I was really disappointed because this was my dream and I really thought I could make the team. I remember walking away from the experience and my dad telling me, next time, be so good that there isn't a reason for them not to take you. I had to stand out. I had to be better than good. I had to be great. My trainer, John Offer, told me that the difference between good and great is how hard a person works when no one is watching. This piece of advice will stay with me for anything I do, and it can work for anyone. I really kept what my dad and my trainer told me in the back of my head every time I was on the ice or in the gym. There are those days you don't feel like doing anything, but I wanted this so bad, I wasn't going to let anything stand in my way. I went back the next year at the age of 15, a little stronger and faster, but at 135 pounds, I was still one of the smallest guys out there. My coach for the junior national team was Bob O'Connor, or OC as we call him. He flew in that week just to help pick the team. Coach OC was not only my coach, he was also my mentor. Bob O'Connor has coached some of the most successful USA hockey players ever, and many of them have gone on to play in the NHL. I will always remember the moment Coach OC pulled me aside that weekend in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center. It was the last night of tryouts, and we had one more shot to show our skills to the staff. He called me in, and I was thinking to myself, was I in trouble, or what did I do? He told me, Adam, the staff thinks you were too young and too small, but I know you have it in you. Pick it up tonight, and the rest will take care of itself. OC's words kept replaying in my mind, putting all I had to offer on the ice that night. So it's the morning of picking the team, and I was so nervous, thinking, did I make it or not? They get to the middle of the pack of players picked, and my name was finally called. I did it. I made my dream come true, and now I was a member of the USA men's national hockey team. At the time, the youngest player ever to be picked. I was so fortunate to have a coaching icon work with me and believe in me, and parents that were able to support my dreams. The following 2 years, I traveled all over the world and participated in many tournaments. One of my most memorable games was in 2009, when our team won the World Championship in the Czech Republic. In the semifinal game against Canada, I scored the only goal in regulation time and scored the game-winning shootout goal to defeat the Canadians for the first time in a World Championship. So just imagine, at the age of 17, I was at the Vancouver Paralympics in Vancouver, British Columbia. I was playing at the highest level you can get at my sport. We won the gold medal, and I got my first goal in my first Paralympics. I made my dream come true, and all that hard work and time paid off in more ways I could ever imagine. I was on the plane coming home with a gold medal at the age of 18 years old, because I had actually celebrated my 18th birthday while at the Vancouver Paralympics. What a way to spend your birthday. So many opportunities came my way from winning the gold medal in Vancouver, and I knew that I wanted to compete in Sochi for the 2014 Paralympics. Here we go again. Those next 4 years were challenging, training, traveling, tryouts, and college. It was difficult and exciting, but I was determined to get to the Paralympics again. 2 world championships, and 4 years later, it was 2014, and I was heading to Sochi. We carried 17 players to Sochi, and only 15 players could dress for each game. Before we left, I was thinking, will I play? I knew I'd put all the hard work and time necessary to put me on the ice. I knew I'd done everything possible. I just kept thinking of everything I learned over the years from my mentors. My dad's words kept replaying in my head. He's so good, there's a reason for them not to play you. The rest was out of my hands. I didn't know how much ice time I would get, or even if I would be dressing for a game. I found myself on the ice for each game, and when it was time for my line to go out and play, we put all we had to offer on the ice. It paid off. I scored 3 goals in 5 games, tying for the lead on the team. We actually have a highlight video of one of the games from Sochi. For those of you that haven't seen hockey before,
Welcome to one of the crown jewels of Sochi's Paralympic venues. On the shores of the majestic Black Sea at Sheba Arena. Day 2 will match the upset team of the tournament so far. Korea coming in here and knocking off the host country, Russia. They'll go up against the second seeded and defending Paralympic gold medalist United States team, a very strong group. Sit back and enjoy, and away we go. Just like that, minute in, it's 1-0, and the way they played in their opener against Italy, as soon as they got one, they wanted 2 and 3. Page cruising in when Josh Sweeney could not get the puck up and over you. Then Adam Page makes it 2-0 USA. And another one of those late period goals. There's hope there in those flags because they know what happened here in this building late last night. Korea has an assist penalty. There's a chance. Here comes Page. There's another one. He walks in. He scores! Oh, and it's a backbreaker. And Adam Page, number 2 in the game. And that third goal, what dexterity, the stick handling. He takes it down through Wu, the defenseman, and then goes to the left hand and Page beats the Korean keeper Yu, and 6 points now, earns them a spot in the medal round already. For now, the U.S.
Sochi was an amazing experience. The Russian fans were great. They showed great sportsmanship and loved the Americans. They wanted pictures with us and the American flag. The Russians and Americans were congratulating each other after the gold medal game. It was incredible to be a part of that. And we were able to make history. The U.S. sled team was the first team ever to win back-to-back golds in the Paralympics. Many good things continue to happen since winning the gold medal in Vancouver and in Sochi. I've had the opportunity to meet the president and vice president twice. Speaking engagements where I've had the opportunity to share my story, and I've been told my story inspires others. I'm also pursuing a bachelor's degree in sports management, and I'm the spokesperson for Envision Health. I've been on the national team for 7 years, and I've traveled to Norway, Japan, South Korea, and all over the U.S. and Canada, and I've participated in 4 world championships, winning 2 golds, 1 silver, and 1 bronze, 2 Paralympics, winning back-to-back gold medals, and I'm hoping to compete for a 3rd gold medal in 2018. Now, what does all this mean? While I was growing up, my parents and family made sure I had the care and experiences that resulted in having successes in my life. I had many challenges, but we never looked at those. We only saw what I could do and followed that path, which led me to all of the positive accomplishments in my life. Remember, focus on your dreams without any limitations. It can take you anywhere. A quote by Josh Billings that inspires me every day. Life consists in not holding good cards, but in playing those, you hold well. I would like to thank Mr. Farley and the Disability Museum for having me here today. Thank you.
We'll answer some questions. If anybody has questions, we have the sled here that Adam used in Sochi, and we'll take some questions if anybody has any.
I got a question. You've been involved in two of the biggest international rivalries the USA has in hockey, in Canada and Russia, and both in Canada and in Russia. Which one meant more to you as a hockey player?
I mean, I guess, anytime that you get a chance to play Canada is pretty special. Just the rivalry that we have. But, I just think this one was a little bit more special. Being able to make history and being there with my teammates and, winning the second one was pretty cool. But I mean, both were great. I mean, anytime you get a chance to represent your country at that kind of level, it's pretty cool.
Everyone has something that they focus on going through different challenges. What was yours going through things, if not too personal?
Going through what?
Going through like your games and your training.
Really, I mean, just being able to balance everything. I mean, obviously, this isn't, everything. I do go to school and have a life outside of hockey. So, I mean, balancing everything together and still trying to be at the top of your game while having a social life and everything else was probably the biggest challenge for me. And staying at the top. And I mean, I'm getting older now. It's crazy to think only 22, one of the older guys, and the sport's just getting so much younger. We have two 15-year-olds on our team now. So I mean, obviously it's a lot easier for them to keep up than someone my age. So.
I would just like to recognize Adam's
High school principal in the back.
She was a big part. Talk about balance, and that was a great question, but, St. Mary's, Mrs. Krantz is principal at St. Mary's, the balance that she allowed Adam to have to be able to go and travel and see the world and understand is amazing, so thank you.
Well, I actually have a funny story about that. The first time I went over to Japan, I always had a little bit of trouble in math, and I was actually Skyped with her while I was doing my homework in Japan, so to keep up with schoolwork. So
It's quite a tutor.
Just interesting to think of yourself as starting to get along into that 22 years old. Anything, what is the next step for you? And you said sports management, so is the next attempt to work with to grow the sport itself? Or are you going to focus on a different facet? I guess it's just strange to think of, hey, I need a new path.
I really like coaching. I actually just came from a sled hockey camp where it's like the next up and coming kids. So I was actually one of the coaches for that. So that's something I'm getting into more is coaching. So I mean, I'm not done yet. I really want to take another run at the Paralympics. So that's in 4 years. But I want to start my career after I'm done and kind of set that up now. So I'm getting into coaching, and I want to do an internship with the Sabres and kind of start my rest of my life.
One of the things, it's interesting you said that, one of the other things that we've started is, we've been fortunate to be able to be involved in what we've been given, what Adam's been given in our family. So what we've done is we've started a new foundation to help other kids, give them the opportunity that Adam has had. So it is going to be called the Adam Page Foundation, and we're going to be working with some great people here in Western New York and around the country to help. It's tough when you start a new program, and that's one of the things that we do. And my role with USA Hockey as a volunteer is we travel around the country and we help start new programs. We give other athletes the opportunity to play the sport of sled hockey, whether it's at the recreational level, if they have aspirations of becoming a national team member, whatever it is. We just want to get them on the ice and having fun. And so what we've realized is it's very difficult to start these new programs. A lot of times you got moms and dads with kids with some type of disability. So going through that ourselves, we know how difficult it is in starting a new program. So the foundation, part of the foundation will allow to other families to help start new programs, and we'll be able to give them some additional monies to start that first year with ice time and equipment and all the things that it takes to start that new program. So that's something we've started with. We're working with the Community Foundation here in Buffalo. We've got some great friends in Pittsburgh, the Sabres, obviously, some other entities that we'll be working with to help grow this foundation and to give others the same opportunity they have to be given. So we're excited about that.
With your foundation, are you going to start select programs in places that don't have it?
Yeah, that's actually another part of it. I'm actually, we'll be able to give $5,000 to a new program that, we'll pick from around the country, and I'll actually get to, go there and give them the check and, start new programs.
Yeah, we'll start this year. Yeah, the first one will start this year, so pretty excited about that.
Gentleman over there has been waiting quite patiently.
What is your biggest goal? Like a major goal that you want to
To win as many gold medals as possible. That's definitely one of them. And really to continue playing hockey as long as I can, or to be involved with it in some way, even if I'm not playing.
Brothers in sled hockey have more than 2 gold medals yet.
Yeah. Or no.
There was, two's it, so
Okay.
3 would be the first
Record
sled
breaker.
hockey. Yeah, 3 would be the first. Pretty cool. Obviously, it's 4 years away. It's in South Korea in 4 years. And, there's a pretty good chance. They had tryouts last weekend for next year's team, and it was it's not official yet, but it was probably the team for this year. So each year they have to try out, and so it's make it once and you're good for 4 years. It's every year they try out. We're excited. That leads me to something else. We're excited about what's going on here. That camp that Adam was talking about, we've been able to bring to Buffalo now. Buffalo's really a hotbed. I mean, the support of Western New York has been incredible, and we've seen a lot of things out there, and it's been great. It's a great hockey town. We've got great support from the Sabres for our local program. Mr. Pagula has been very supportive, and we started a vets program here in Buffalo, which we're excited about. Getting our wounded heroes on the ice and playing hockey again, so that's something else. But we're going to, next April, we'll have our national festival come to Buffalo. We did it in 2009. It's coming back again next year, next April 12th, 9th through the 12th. And 2 weeks after that, which is really going to be an exciting April for us, but we're going to have the World Championships. They were scheduled to be in Torino, Italy. It kind of fell through, and they came to us. They knew about the new Harbor Center and what was happening here and the excitement here. They came to us while we were in Sochi and said, do you think you could do it in Buffalo with that new facility? So we came home, we talked to the Sabres. They were excited. So I don't know if you had heard, but it was announced that we'll have the World Championship. So it'll be nice to be able to stay home and sleep in our own beds for a World Championship instead of. It's nice to travel, but it'll be great to have it here in Western New York, and that'll be the last weekend of April at the start of 2015, next April. So I'll be watching for that, and it'll be great downtown at the Harbor Center, and we're hoping that the U.S. team will make it to the finals in our home country, in our Adams hometown. There's a good chance we may be able exciting things coming up. More questions? We've got the sled here, so we thought it'd be kind of neat to just, Adam will explain to you a little bit about the sled and, his equipment. These are the sticks, but
Yeah, so,
bring the sled up.
With the sticks first, for those of you that couldn't really tell, we actually move, with our arms, and there's
Pass one around.
two sharp picks at the bottom, and that's what we use to dig into the ice. They're bolted into the shaft, and then the other side's the blade. It's two pieces, the blade and then the shaft. Warrior, Easton, and possibly CCM are all hockey companies that are involved with making sled hockey sticks. And then we have the sled that I used. For guys that do have legs, our sleds are a little bit longer. And then we have a strap here for our legs. And then you're strapped in at the top. Just like regular hockey, you want to be as tight as possible into your skates. And then that's our skate, so we want to be as tight as possible. So we have the straps on there, so we can fit tightly in our bucket. And then what rests on the ice are two skate blades really close together. When we start off with younger kids, the base is a lot wider because it's a lot harder to get the balance down. It takes a lot of upper body and core strength to be able to balance on the sleds. So when they get better and stronger, we move it in so that it's a lot easier to turn when it's really close together. And then we also have in our local program for people that can't actually move the sled themselves, we'll actually have a pusher bar that goes into the back of the bucket, and as long as they can hold the stick, they can be pushed around by a pusher and still be able to play the game at a local level. And then the bucket is actually made from material that is made from AFOs, the same material. So you actually get casted for the bucket. We went to Chicago for 5-6 days for them to make that bucket. So that's like the latest technology that they're using in the sport at the national level, just because they found that it's a lot it's better for them to have a bucket where it's custom fit for you. Makes it a lot easier to maneuver and everything. Yeah.
If you get a chance, anybody who hasn't seen it, it's come a long way. I mean, this thing weighs about 11 pounds. I think the one downstairs weighs about 45. And it wasn't that long ago. It seems like a long time ago, but it was only 15 years ago when we started. And you go down there and you look at that, it was a car seat belt. It was steel. It had, what we did is we would take the blades off the skates, we would cut them off, and we would screw them into a piece of plywood underneath, so it was very tough to move around. You think about a 6 or 7 year old moving a 45-pound sled, and then a car seat belt would hold them in, and it's pretty crazy. So when you see that one down there to this one now, and obviously the only downside of that is these things are not cheap. And Adam goes through them pretty quick. These things, this one here, retail with the bucket is about $4,000. So the bucket's very expensive because it's an AFO. Anybody that has AFOs knows how expensive AFOs are. $1,500 to $2,000 for a pair of AFOs. Same thing with the bucket. So we found a great guy in Chicago. Actually, we're going to be working with the local person here in Buffalo that may be able to start making these for us too. So fortunately, we have somebody that can give us a bit of a discount on them. And these things just get beat up so much. The rails, they get hit. Obviously, you just saw the hitting that goes on. And so these side poles, they actually come off, and we replace those quite often. But this will last him probably
2 years.
Yeah, probably 1.5 to 2 years before it needs to be bucket's held up really well since they made this bucket, but, so hopefully we don't have to replace that too often. But, let me tell you a little bit more about Sochi. It was a great experience, and kind of what you saw, Adam, in Sochi, and the people, and it was a really, truly amazing experience. Thinking, I grew up in the Cold War, and a lot of us did, and thinking about what we thought our preconceived notions of the Russian people. They were incredible people. You know, it was really amazing to be there and think, you know, I think more than not to get too political, but politicians sometimes get in the way of the people. They were wonderful to us. They incredible to the team, incredible to all the parents over there. Just the nicest people you could ever meet. And some of the nicest people we've ever met anywhere we've been. So it was really pretty interesting and inspiring to see they were just like us and just caught up in some of the things that go on in the world, I guess. But it was pretty cool. Any other questions?
Are there any women that play the sport?
Yeah, there's actually a women's national team for the U.S. and Canada. They're starting to grow the program in Europe. There's not enough women in Europe that play, so it's kind of a mix of all the European nations, and they put a team together. But you know that's growing too. You know, we're trying to get more girls involved in playing. You know, at the local level, and there's one that we actually saw this week. She's probably going to make the development team for the U.S. So, just
we're hoping to see it in
incredible.
2018.
Yeah.
I mean, 2018 that may be an exhibition sport in South Korea, the women's, and with the goal of being 2022.
Is when they want to put it in for the Paralympics.
Yeah.
I think 14 you're talking.
Yeah.
So
So we're keeping our fingers crossed. There's some really great girls, and one girl that Adam mentions from Pittsburgh, she's phenomenal. And
better than some of the guys that were playing.
yeah, she's incredible. She deserves to be playing at the international level. So we're going to do everything we can to, try to get her out. And she's young yet, thank goodness. So those few years it's going to take us to make it happen. But that's part of what we do, and hoping to grow the program further. So.
One for a round of applause. I was just going to ask, do you see it potentially becoming maybe like a semi-professional, at least a semi-professional, maybe professional level? Because I remember watching some of the games in Sochi, and it's better than some Sabres games, I think.
It's really cool where things are headed. We worked 15 years, here locally and nationally, and what happened in the 4 months, these past 4 months, multiplied many times over what happened in those 15 years. I mean, so much happened in those 4 months, and it was because PBS did a special, and also we had national television. We, honestly, being involved with USA Hockey, I never thought we would see it this soon, but NBC took it. They decided they were going to do it. It's incredible for the Paralympics and Paralympic sports in general, not just hockey, but the week that they were doing it, it was on, so you may know, it was on the NBC Sports Network during the week, and it was scheduled on that Saturday to be shown a tape delay at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Well, the ratings were so, NBC couldn't believe it. The ratings were so strong during the week for the hockey that they decided we're going to do this thing live at noon. And they came to us on Friday and said we're going to do this. The ratings have been great. Well, they had, for the final, they had 1 million people watch that game, which was staggering. We couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. And so I think what it's really done is it's shown, it's an incredible sport, shows so well on TV, and the people just really took a hold of the sport, and that bodes well, because unfortunately the fact of the matter is it's got to generate income for these, obviously for NBC or for whoever we would do this. So I think there's some really good things that that are coming from all of this. And, you know, they're great athletes, they're full-time athletes, just like the Olympians. We have them spend about 6 days a week during the season, either on the ice or in the gym. It's really evolved over the last few years compared to 02 and 06. It's not just a part-time thing, it's a full-time commitment. So, great stuff.
Canada, that's one thing we're gonna work on. And then before everybody leaves too, we have, Adam has agreed to sign autographed pictures. So we have pictures for you. If you'd like me to take your picture with Adam, if you have a camera with you, I'd be glad to take the picture of you two guys standing together. Or I can use my camera and I'll email you the picture.
We have the medals too, so you're more than welcome to come up and
See the medals,
see
touch
the
the
medals
medals.
as well.
No one goes home without taking another cookie. Otherwise, you know where they'll be. I won't look good, we're eating all those cookies.
This has been a great honor to have you come. I know that I do a lot of things with Boy Scouts and everything else. I know my docents that I work with have been excited. Last few weeks, that's all I've heard. You sure he's coming on Saturday? So we do have a gift for you, and I'm going to have Izzy actually present it to you. This is from the whole museum, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day.